What's going on, everybody? Today I'm going to show you how to add a smart key to a 2018 plus Toyota Corolla. This example is a 2019 Toyota Corolla. We're using the AUTEL KM100 to get this done. And I'm also using an AUTEL universal smart key that we will generate for that vehicle and program into the car. So before we get started, one thing I want to point out is that these Toyota keys are dependent on two different type of frequencies. I will show you that here in our main menu. We'll go to frequency detection. And I'm going to put this original key up to the antenna where I see 312. If I hit the lock button, I see 314.35. So I'll do that one more time. 312, 314.35. So that's what I mean about two different frequencies. What I'm going to do now to generate our smart key is go into our universal key menu, which is at the top left. I'm going to go ahead and search for Toyota. I'm going to go to Corolla. I've got some options here. See, our frequencies have two different numbers there. This first option is what we want. 312.10, 314.35. So now I can generate my universal key. I'm going to set this key tool down. And I'm going to go ahead and take my universal key that must have a battery in there for this to work. And we'll put it in our antenna. I'm going to go ahead and hit generate universal key at the bottom. I'm going to let it count down and do its thing. Get to 100%. It might do this a couple times. Now what I also will point out while we're waiting is that our chip ID4A, we want to make sure that's the right chip type. This AUTEL will do pretty much only the 2018 plus keys. I've seen some support for older models, but it's pretty spotty. I usually use the X-Horse key tool for older Toyota smart keys. So we're almost at 100% here. Let's see what it does. Universal key generation is completed. Do you want to continue? No, what that would do is if we want to do another, we're done, so we'll hit completed. And as I've said in my other videos, got the VCI in there for the programming. That's what that message was. We're going to check it really quick. 314, 312. So I'm happy seeing that. Let's get on to programming the key now. So what we got here is our original smart key. You'll need that for adding a key. And then our universal key to be programmed. Move this key tool over here a little bit. And now we're going to go to Immobilizer at the bottom left. We'll select that. And we'll go to Toyota. Now we can do a couple things here. I'm going to try to do automatic selection. We're going to read the VIN number. Now your ignition might need to be on for this, so we're going to go ahead and turn the ignition on. VIN reading failed. Let's just go ahead and do it by manual selection. Now if you notice in the top right corner here, my VCI has got the green. We'll hit USA for our USA options. My VSI logo has the green check mark. That means my VSI port for the OBD is plugged in correctly. Let's hit Corolla now in our model. We'll go to 2018-2019 Smart Key. Yes, that is our vehicle. So I'm going to do a Immobilizer status scan. No DCCs. We'll go ahead and hit add a key. And we're going to hit start. Maximum of 4 keys can be learned. Turn on the ignition. Ignition is on. That is our VIN. Now we'll turn our ignition off. And then our hazards will be on. Have we backed up the EEPROM data of this vehicle? No. So here's what it wants. It wants a 12-digit PIN security code. I see a lot of guys pay for this. You do not need to do that. So what I'm going to do is cut to a video of what we can do to bypass this PIN. So I'll be right back with you. We'll restart this process and I'll show you how to get around that. Okay, I'm back at our model menu here. I'm going to select Corolla again. I'm going to go to our 2018-19 model year and select Smart Key. And we're going to hit Other. We're going to go back to our vehicle menu and we're going to hit Control Unit instead of Immobilizer status scan. We're going to hit Keyless System. And there's an option here, Backup Immo Data. So let's go ahead and back up Immobilizer data via OBD. Once the ignition off, the hazard lamp's on. The network is good on the device. So we have an internet connection, that's what that wants there. We hit continue. Now it's going to attempt to read the PIN via the EEPROM data. If you see here, it allows us to perform Immobilizer related functions without the PIN. You must turn off all Bluetooth function of the device and connect the diagnostic tool with the USB cable. So I am not plugged in via cable, but I'm going to try it anyway. So here it's reading our EEPROM data. This is very rarely a quick process, but please allow it to do its thing. If it's going to fail, let it fail on you. You do not want to be unplugging things at this time. Another thing I will mention is pay attention to your battery level. A lot of these newer vehicles do not like any sort of EEPROM reading with low battery. Get a bunch of fault codes and stuff popping up on the dash. It'll usually go away on its own, but it's pretty scary, so hook up a battery maintainer if you need to. We're over 70% now. Hopefully we get some successful results with this Immobilizer data, and I will show you what to do to program the key. Alright, so there's our EEPROM data. Now it wants us to save that, so I'm just going to put TOY, and then I will hit save. Backup succeeded. Now we can go back out to our Add Smart Key option, which is up here. Vehicle cannot communicate with the ECU. Well, it's probably because our car's off. Go ahead and turn the ignition back on. Add Smart Key. 4 keys can be learned. Please complete these steps within the specified time. We'll hit OK. The ignition is on. Here's the VIN. Yes, that's the VIN. Ignition off. Hazards on. We'll turn the ignition off. Hazards are still on. Let's hit OK. Have you backed up the EEPROM data of this vehicle? Well, now we can hit yes because we have. Select the EEPROM data. If the Immobilizer data is not backed up, please execute backup Immobilizer data function first. So here's our file from earlier. We're going to hit select, and we're going to hit OK. Now it's reading the PIN code. Keep a programmed key right here up to the key buzzer. It will beep once. Keep the unprogrammed key to the button. It will beep twice. So here's our unprogrammed key. Put it up to the button. Heard that second beep. And we'll let it time out here. Turn on the ignition. Go ahead and turn our ignition on. We'll hit OK. Place a Learn Smart Key close to the start button. We'll use the original. And now it says learning succeeded. Alright, so let's turn our ignition off. Turn our hazards off. Alright. Alright, so we do have our key remote working. Going to make sure it starts the car. What you will notice on these new Toyotas, when you program a key, is the dash will show a message. A new key has been registered to the vehicle. See if I can show you that again. Contact your dealer for details. Do not be alarmed at this message. It will go away in a couple days. It can take up to 10 days from what I've been told by the dealer, but it's just to show you a new key is in the Immobilizer. We'll make sure it starts. We'll go ahead and put our foot on the brake, hit the start button. Car is starting up. I don't see any warning lights. Everything looks good to go. Well, I hope that helps, guys. It's what we're using to program newer Toyotas these days. Use the AUTEL IM508, but the KM100 is working great. These universal keys are a great option to have, especially if a customer doesn't want to pay a couple $100 for an OEM key. Thank you for your time.